I just got one thing to say for this holiday season. How about them Cowboys?
Hell no, man. Yeah, it was just this week, I guess, because we needed to happen. But guess what, man? Obviously, we all know now. First place, 49ers. It was weird actually rooting for the Cowboys. Niner fans out there, like, what the hell are we doing? But right now, as of today, the Niners are the number one seed. And if the playoffs were today, we would have that first round bye, that
Yeah.
much needed bye. Man, what do you feel after this game? What are you feeling, man?
Feeling obviously happy that we're in first place. I was a little bit nervous because during the game when Dak had that fumble and they ran it back to the house, and I think that was, I want to say 21-13 or something like that. I was like, oh gosh, here we go again. Cowboys being Cowboys, but they pulled it off. They got the W. So now we're in first. But happy that we're in first for right now. But let's we just got to win now, but we have I believe the toughest schedule because we have to face the Ravens soon.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it though. Because let's look it up. It's Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and then on Christmas the Ravens, and then after that we are going to Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and then at home against the Rams. So I mean that game with the Ravens, that's gonna be the one right there. At home. The good thing it's at home, because if it was on the road on Christmas, that would be so tough.
Yeah.
But it's at home, so that's a really good thing. And the Ravens, they almost lost. They probably should have lost today to the Rams. So at the end of the day, we control our own destiny, man. But I am pumped right now that we got that number one seed as of today, and we just got to keep it going. No matter what, turn the outside noise away and just focus on this. The thing about this game that we played against Seattle, all I wanted was for us to win. That's all I cared about. I had a feeling that it was going to be close, and it was kind of close for a while, even at the end, kind of. But I just wanted to win because it was a rivalry game. The Seahawks were coming off a 10-day rest, so I knew it was going to be kind of sloppy, and it was, man. And then injury to Travis Ward, but they found a way to get it done, man. And that's all I care about in that offense right there. If we continue to do what we were doing on the offense, Purdy throwing for, 360 plus with those 2 touchdowns, and McCaffrey doing his thing, I think that we could hold on to that number one spot. I think that the Cowboys probably will lose 1 or 2 other games, and the Eagles maybe lose next week to Seattle to maybe kind of have that little cushion, because we know the Lions lost, and now we really don't have to worry about them because they're kind of the back room here.
Yeah.
But overall, man, as a 49er fan, having that number one seed, it's so important, man, because the last 2 years we had to go on that road in the NFC Championship game. And even though that Rams game was like 50-50, still you want it to be all Ninered out, ready to go, not having to travel and do all this stuff. No, man, that's all we wanted, was to have that number one seed, and hopefully we just continue it, man, one game at a time, and we realize that what the goal is. And I'm glad that one thing, in December and January, that's when they were hot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's when we play our best football. Hopefully we can step it up and continue that trend, because the Cardinals right now coming off of bye, and we don't do that great against teams coming off a bye. So we have to be ready, all hands on deck, because we're heading down the stretch.
Yeah, and then like I mentioned earlier, so pretty much we just have to win out. That's the only really tough game, just the Ravens. But even then, with the Rams, I know their defense is not looking so good, but the offensive weapon's still there. And so as long as we just win out, we take care of those 2 teams, man, that number one spot's looking real good, and that's huge for us, because you saw, again, how you mentioned last year we didn't have that number one spot, and that really hurt us because, man, that home crowd makes a whole difference that people don't realize. And so for us to be home court advantage, have our fan base there, man, that number one spot, like, I'm praying for that we get that. And I believe that the Niners are going to finish it out because, man, like you said, we've been the hottest team right now in the NFL. And everyone's been saying we're the best team in the NFL. So let's do it, man.
Yeah, last year, remember, we were like 11, 12 game winning streak, but we just couldn't get that home field, and it hurt, man. At the end, it's like playing that extra week. I think last year it was Seattle, that week 1 round in the wild card weekend, and it just keeps taking a toll on you, all these extra games, man. And when you're fresh, you notice it. Like when we had that bye week, we had lost 3 games in a row, and then we played Jacksonville. Yeah, we were fresh, and dude, those guys showed. That was like one of the best performances of the year against Jacksonville. And you saw those guys just flying.
Yeah,
everyone flying. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Bosa was getting sacks. Chase Young, his first game as a 49er. So that's kind of what you want. You want to have that first round bye, and especially if you get that first round bye, if there's an upset in wild card weekend, you like I say the Lions, because they're losing all the time, they would have a 3 seed. They would probably play who, I don't know, the Vikings or Packers. What if one of those teams upset them? Then our first game would be against the Packers or the Vikings. Get a little revenge on the Vikings. That would be better than having to play the Cowboys or the Eagles. So it's always a good thing trying to get that number 1 seed, and hopefully our guys just get ready for the for the grind, man, because it's gonna be a battle at the end.
Yeah.
But honestly, to tell you the truth, though, man, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not like this game. I was rooting for the Cowboys, but in the back of my mind, I was like, dude, we just gotta focus on business, man.
Yeah.
Because I know it was cool and all with talking the trash and all that last week with the Eagles.
Yeah.
But now it's just time. Let's just go, man. Let's just freaking go and not mess around, because I don't want that letdown again. We've been to 3 out of the last 4 years in the NFC Championship games. We're 1-2, and what happened when we won that NFC Championship? We're at home, so we got to get it going. And I don't know, man. It's just crazy though that we actually rooted for the Cowboys today.
I know, it was the 2 teams I hated. I was like, oh man, does it really come down to this, that we're watching the 2 teams we hate and we have to root against one of them just for us to get first place? But at the end of the day, like, it was only one game, and thankfully that the Cowboys got that W, so we're able to hold on to that 1 seed just for the time being. Now we got to go to work. Now we got to make sure that we solidify that number 1 spot, and I think we're ready, man. We saw that we've been the hottest team since, like you said, this is a bye week, and let's keep that momentum going, man.
Yeah, and the Eagles, I believe they play the Giants twice, which should be easy. Come on, you going against the Vito?
That's so they have the easiest. That's like, out of us 3, they have the easiest schedule, and then it's the Cowboys, and then I believe us have the hardest schedule.
And the Cowboys have, I think, the hardest, because I think they play the Dolphins, the Bills. Like, they have a pretty tough schedule. So who knows? I think the way it is, I think it might be Eagles number 2 seed, Cowboys number 5, because if they have a tiebreaker, it's gonna go to the Eagles. So the Eagles will be the number 2 seed, and I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. But at the end of the day, man, we got to take care of business, and we got to get healthy, because right now, it's going to be tough next week, because we might be without Ward. Dre Greenlaw got hurt, but he came back in.
So that was a good thing that I think it was Dre Greenlaw. I want to say, who else was it? One of the D lines.
Obviously, Ward got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't remember a D lineman getting hurt.
I thought there was.
Well, I know Armstead didn't play.
No, not Armstead. I know it was like somebody else. It was like Greenlaw and like 2 other people. But there was like good signs that they were like still walking and like they were fine. And so with the injury report, hopefully they got time just to like heal up, and then because we're gonna need those guys come playoff time.
Oh yeah, and then we just had a new signing with Verrett, so hopefully that should help. I know people were panicking like, oh shoot, is Ward completely like out now? But I'm not sure. But I think he should be fine. Hopefully by playoffs. It's kind of like when remember when D Ford came back after like he was out for like 7 weeks, and then the playoffs started, and they started a roll, but then he disappeared in the Super Bowl. But hopefully, I don't know, man. Hopefully we get our stuff together and stay healthy. We got to stay healthy. So maybe if we have that cushion these next 3 weeks, maybe week 18, we could rest our guys against the Rams, so we don't get no injuries. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
But that's what we got, man. Let us know what you think about the whole situation. What do you think the Niners number 1 seed? Let me know down below. If we're going to get that number 1 seed, hopefully go back to the promised land. All right, man. Talk to you next time.
Peace.